Okay, welcome back. It's Wednesday. And if you were here last night, I did like a whole bunch of deck unboxings. I had I think 7. There was a bunch of Oracle decks and random stuff that had been sort of sitting around, and I was like, I gotta get these off my desk, and I had been planning to kind of just record going through them. So tonight I actually have 2 other decks that I'm gonna do. I just didn't feel like doing a million in one night. These are actually the 2, and I'm doing these both tonight just because they have a similar theme. These are probably what you would refer to more as erotic decks. So the first is the Decameron Tarot. Hang on a second. Okay, I had to shut my office door because my dogs are going to keep walking in and out. Let me go ahead and get this actually opened up. I kind of didn't do this before. All right, so this is a really great deck for if you're doing love and relationship readings, especially. Or if you and your partner or partners just want a fun tool to use. So let's start with the booklet that comes with it. Of course, this is a Lo Scarabeo deck, so it's going to look really similar to a lot of the other things that they produce in terms of the booklet, the quality, that kind of thing. So the book basically gives you a little bit of walkthrough, love, etc. A lot of these drawings are based on Boccaccio. Well, Decameron is what he wrote. And so some of these are sort of like the archetypes, I guess, and themes that come from that. So there's a very brief description, or I guess, some keywords for each one of the cards. Not super in depth, but enough for you to read it. And then there's a little bit of a little blurb that it has about, using the deck. Just some things to kind of keep in mind. So the book itself is, if you're an experienced reader, you may not necessarily use it. If you're new to tarot, I would say if you're new to tarot, this is probably not a deck to start with. But let's go on. Okay. So this is the card back. This is what the card back looks like. It's pretty standard cardstock. It's not super thick, but it's, somewhere between really glossy and matte. The cards move, fairly easily on each other, so it's easy to shuffle. So I'll just run through the cards really quick. And, basically, obviously all of the warnings, regardless of where you purchase this deck from, most of the warnings are going to say, this is an adults only deck, or this is an 18 and over deck. It is an erotic deck, and there is a lot of nudity in it. That's essentially the whole point of this deck. So just be aware if you are a sensitive viewer. We'll just go through each one. Hopefully I can, there we go. It's hard for me to do this while my camera is up and I can't really see what it's doing. Here, actually, let me turn this. Okay. This way you're not looking at it sideways. I forgot IGTV is portrait mode. Okay. The one thing I will say when you read the comments on this online is people do point out that it's not that diverse, both ethnically as well as sexual orientation and gender. It is pretty much exclusively white heterosexual. So keep that in mind. However, if you're simply using these as tools in your own relationship or, during a reading for a client, or exploring, themes of sexuality in readings, you can definitely use it that way. I think if for no other reason, it's just a really unique deck. And I'm definitely a fan of, themes of sex positivity or sex positive anything. It's 2021. We got to kind of get over ourselves. And I think on some of these, the imagery is not necessarily as intuitive. As far as the sexual imagery, especially on the pip cards, it doesn't always necessarily correlate with what the card is as far as other than like the page, knight, queen, and king. But I like them. I think it's a really cool deck. It's definitely got like a fun energy to it. So if you're going to, or if you do love readings or relationship readings, this would be a really fun one to work into if you have clients who are so open-minded. All right, almost done. Okay, and that was it. So overall, fun deck. Got a cool vibe to it. It's lighthearted. It's definitely a deck. Obviously, all of the little warnings that come with it. This is an 18 and over deck. Keep that in mind. But I think it was really fun. I'm going to jump off, and next I'm going to go through this one similar. It's an erotic tarot. So if you want to take a look at that one too, join me in just a few minutes.